Hello, my name is McCann, and this is the house that I spent the first few years of my life in. I remember playing out on this street with all the other children on the estate, the neighbours, the community spirit that I felt was incredible. But it wasn't all good because there was lots of violence in the house, the social services around the house all the time, and tragically we lost my mum a week before my 6th birthday. She was actually found murdered on the field at the back of the house, which you can't see from here. At that event, well, she was killed by the Yorkshire Ripper, by the way, Peter Sutcliffe, and that event, mum's tragic death, sent me on a downward spiral. I was in children's homes, before then being brought up by my estranged father, lots of alcohol and violence in that home as well. I had low self-esteem and no confidence, and then I left school with no qualifications, and after a couple of years of dead-end jobs I decided to join the army, from which I was kicked out of for psychological reasons. And to ease my depression I turned to drugs, and I eventually ended up in prison on a drugs charge. And on my release, and after a failed suicide pact with my sister, I decided that it had to be a different way. I decided that I was going to turn my life around once and for all. I got myself a job, and I excelled in that job, and paid off all the money that I owed to the banks, the arrears that I incurred whilst I was in prison. And I finally in 2002 did something very courageous. I actually wrote a book about my life. That book, Just a Boy, was a phenomenal UK #1 bestseller. It's actually been published around the world now. See, people love stories, and in fact since writing the book, and I get asked to speak and share my story around the world, in fact speaking in many countries as a motivational speaker. And you see, people love stories, and now a film based on my life is in early development, which will hopefully go around the world. But listen, there's more than just me living in social housing, or lived on social housing. That's got a story to tell. And by the way, social housing, that's just a term that it's given. It's not social housing to people that live around here. It wasn't social housing when I lived here, it was my home. But I'm not the only person with an inspirational story, and what I'd like to encourage you to do is do what I'm doing, which is take out your iPhone or your smartphone or camera and create your own little video like this. It doesn't have to be slick, sharing your inspirational story about what you've done in the community, the difference that you've made in someone's life, or you may have set up your own business, who knows. But let's share those stories. On the 12th of November, I'm encouraging everybody to share those stories using the hashtag HousingDay. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose the most inspirational around the regions, and some fantastic prizes to be won. Now here's an example of the kind of people that I'm talking about, who's made a short film herself. Over to Anna.
Hi, my name's Anna. I've recently moved to the Bramley area. I'm an ex-sex worker, and basically I'm working with a group of people from Leeds, and we're discussing the impacts that decisions made in Leeds are having on us. And I'm particularly working around the issues of stigma, which is something I face, and I think a lot of us face when we're on benefits. So we're just trying to change people's perception of what it's like, and just to make people more aware of the truth and not what they perceive to be true. We've just recently done a launch event at the Civic Hall around Leeds Poverty Truth, where we've been speaking and giving our testimonies to about 200 business and civic leaders. And now we're actually broken down into subgroups, like I say, dealing with stigma, achieving potential, and health and well-being. So hopefully watch this space and there'll be some good impact.
Wow, what about that? What a story, what a difference she's making in her community. So as I said, she's not the only one. Get out your cameras, make your short film, 2 or 3 minutes, upload them to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you need to do, but with the hashtag HousingDay. I look forward to watching them and hearing your incredible stories. I'm Richard McCann. Bye for now.